Well, we all deal with it. Hair loss affects some more than others, but as we age, it's something all of us have to deal with. But if it's something that makes you want to pull your hair out, Dr. Coley has some tips on keeping our luscious locks longer.
All right, Dr. Coley, it's great to see you. Hey, your hair looks beautiful today.
Thank you, Danny.
Of course. Thank you. Had to pull it back today. You know, we always have to have one of those days.
For sure.
But I want to talk to you about hair and about hair loss. This is something we've talked about on the show before, but this specifically I want to touch on is hair loss as we age, and if this is something that's normal to lose our hair more often as we get older, and how do we know if it's natural or something that we need to be concerned about?
You know, I'm so glad we're talking about this because it's such a common thing, not just as we get older, but even sometimes in young age.
Yeah.
And we know that we're supposed to turn over our hair. So the way that hair works is we're supposed to shed about 50 to 100 hairs every day, believe it or not. Yeah, and then the hairs will grow in its place. Now, sometimes there are things that can accelerate the degree of shedding or stunt the growth of the new hair.
Okay.
And certainly as we get older, Danny, both for men and for women, we notice that there seems to be characteristics, patterns of hair loss.
Sure.
That's called androgenetic alopecia, which means kind of the receding hairline, you know, kind of the bald spot, and you get this temporal thinning, which means at this part you're starting to have kind of your hair go back.
Yes.
These are high traffic areas when we're sleeping, sun exposure, so these hair follicles start to get damaged a little bit earlier than others.
Okay.
And a lot of that androgenetic alopecia is related to hormones. So in women it's estrogen, in men it's testosterone.
Okay.
And certainly that's a normal part of aging. But having said that, if you're starting to lose hair very quickly or briskly, you want to talk to your doctor.
Okay.
If you are losing hair and you're too young, you want to talk to your doctor because there are things, the earlier you get it treated, the better the prognosis. If it's coming out in bunches, that's never a good thing.
Yes.
And that could be your thyroid, it could be something else going on, so you definitely want to address that with your physician. And then if you notice like a bald spot, an oval or round bald spot, not kind of back here where it's androgenetic alopecia, but more off to the sides or something, that's called alopecia areata.
Okay.
Jada Pinkett Smith had that and she shared her journey with that. That is an autoimmune process where immune system is attacking the hair follicles. So the pattern of hair loss, the rapidity of hair loss, and really how much hair you're losing are the warning signs that should trigger you to talk to a dermatologist.
Okay, so something to definitely keep an eye on, especially if you're dealing with any of those. Now, when supplement or vitamin deficiency contributes to hair loss, when exactly does that happen, and do supplements help? Because oftentimes we've heard of things like biotin or, you know, just collagen in general.
Right.
Do these things help when it comes to hair loss?
You know, if you're deficient, they absolutely help.
Okay.
So I say vitamin D and vitamin B12 are two big ones, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan or spend a lot of time indoors. Those are important. Zinc is another one that can be. So sometimes if you're not sure, I would suggest you talk to your doctor about checking levels and then repleting. If you're not deficient, I think the scientific data is kind of mixed. I'm not sure the collagen supplements or the biotin supplements are really going to help grow hair.
Yeah.
But certainly if you have a deficiency, I do encourage people to take those supplements, or if they're following like a restricted vegetarian or vegan diet, those can absolutely help.
Okay, good to know. Now, a big thing here are those hair treatments, and I know a lot of us know about that. You know, those of us in TV get those done a lot, these hair treatments. Now, do these hair treatments cause hair loss?
You know, it's nice to hear that most likely no.
Okay, good.
So if you're having an underlying process, they can sort of accelerate that. So if the hair was going to fall out anyways and you go to get some sort of a heat treatment or a chemical treatment, it can help the hair to fall out faster.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily causing the hair to fall out.
Okay.
Having said that, you want to be really careful about something called traction alopecia, because sometimes we wear, especially as women, our hair in ponytails.
Right.
And they can be tight ponytails.
Yes.
And that's actually putting a little tension on the hair follicle.
Okay.
And if you're sleeping with a tight ponytail, which I would never advise anyone to do, and you're rolling around in bed, you're actually pulling the hair out of the hair follicle. So that traction alopecia is a real thing. So I often tell people very loose ponytail on the top of your head, not in the back, because then it doesn't pull your hair as much.
Okay.
And that will help kind of relieve some of the stress here. And then hair products is another question I often get. Generally, we don't see hair products causing thinning or balding of hair.
Okay.
But if you're doing a lot of backcombing or teasing or breaking of the hair, it's part of your hairstyling process. You want to be mindful of that as well.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, got my loose pony in today. There we go. Now, are there natural treatments that can help with hair growth? I know, again, this is something that a lot of people, you know, maybe Google and go online and there are a billion things that come up. So what do you think?
Well, the nice thing about our hair is that it grows back, right? And so if we have a real big stressful event in our life, our hair can fall out more quickly, like after COVID or after the loss of a loved one. That's called telogen effluvium. It'll come back. But taking care of your scalp is a really important part of self-care.
Okay.
And it's something we need to do. And, you know, things like scalp massage, which stimulate the blood flow. Essential oils have actually been shown in the scientific literature as well to be helpful. So this is lavender oil, rosemary oil, or peppermint oil.
Okay.
Green tea massages into the scalp. These are all natural ways in which you can help sort of stimulate overall hair growth.
Amazing.
There's also some evidence, although it's not completely convincing, for low laser light therapy.
Okay.
Which is kind of wearing these caps that emit kind of these red laser lights that can help stimulate hair growth as well. So all of these are therapies you might want to discuss with your dermatologist, but certainly they have no harm, and it's something that you can consider. And a lot of them are at-home therapy, so it's nice you can kind of do it for yourself. And it's a nice relaxing ritual to have an essential oil scalp massage once a week on your hair.
Absolutely. I'm going to go home and try that tonight,
love that.
especially green tea. That's so easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Coley, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and you can email your questions for Dr. Coley. Just send your message to mycoco@9news.com and put Coley in the subject line.